Hi guys, this is Crucifix, one of my problematic characters.
And we're back. So I'm going to talk about Crucifix, and this time, since it's 10 minutes long, I'm going to explain everything in its fullest extent, while still keeping it short enough to where when this does become the comic or the graphic novel, you'll be able to read it and understand everything and more. That being said, you have to take everything I say with a grain of salt because things are made to change. This is that disclaimer. Moving on. Now, the first thing is, who is Crucifix? Well, his name is Jackson Justiceman. He's a father of 3 and a loving husband at that. He lives in a small town in the larger city of Whitesville. It's 30 miles out from what is now the modern-day Somerville in South Carolina. He's an urban legend, a supernatural anti-hero, and a villain to some, protector of POC, a harvest of pain and justice, and some. Depending on the area, the South still whispers about him. Folks still vanish when his name is called. People found with markings on their bodies after mysteriously gone missing for multiple days, or during the night, just like that. The thing about Crucifix that makes him different is he just doesn't kill based on race or color of ethnicity, gender. He moves with a principle. His principle being, if you perpetuate hate, exploitation, or even violence, you will reap what you sow. You may be asking, why am I telling you all these things? The truth is, so you understand why this character is the way he is. Jackson wasn't always like this. He wasn't Crucifix. It all happened on a fateful night. Let's take a step back. Let's go hours before the hours of 11 p.m. Roughly the time is 6:15. It's August. The sun is close to setting, but not there yet. You can hear the water running, everyone's happy, the town is thriving. In the distance, we see a guy by the name of Austin McAllister. If you're familiar with the last name McAllister, then you know who he's connected to within my universe. Think about Austin. One thing about Austin is he used to work for a certain plantation. That plantation went out of business, of course, because something was abolished. Slave patrol was still around, but they didn't make enough money to support his family. Austin had to join hunting groups so his family could eat. While looking for new grounds to hunt, however, he stumbled upon a scent. Smell of iron, copper, and then he smelled vanilla, fresh pies. Looked a little closer and realized, those are the people that took everything from me. They're happy, they're thriving. I need to fix that. What he did is he returned to his family, his old friends, pastor of the church, and 3 blocks more of people back in the heart of Whitesville. Pay attention, because this is about to get juicy. As Jackson and his family was finishing the venerations for their ancestors and talking about the sermon that took place at the local church. No, it wasn't your typical church. Religion was a little messy, if you get what I'm trying to say. Dabbled in magics of the land that they originally came from after hiding it for so long. They were able to be free, right? So they did. Meanwhile, like I stated, Jackson and his family was good. 3 kids chilling at the table. His wife finished cooking dinner as they were all thrilled. Decided to watch the sunset, so they took everything outside, easing up as the sky went from a beautiful orange to a purple to a pink and then blue. Nightshade blue, almost purple. The stars twinkled. Like I stated before, the lake was very close. You could see the reflection of the moon. As they finished dinner, back in the house, said goodnight and I love you. Everyone's sleeping. Everyone except for Austin and his lovely group of, we're gonna say, purifiers. One thing about the purifiers, they need to purify things that are unpure. And so they did. Gunshots were going everywhere. Silhouettes of those on trees. Children asking for their parents to help them. Men tussling. Splatter everywhere. Jackson heard all of this, trying to fight them off. They got him. Jackson then spent the next 6 days and suffered torture, in pain, in a church that he wasn't even familiar with. But finally, on the 7th day, got the hot iron. They branded him with a giant cross from the top of his chest to his upper stomach. After days of screaming to his ancestors for help, screaming to the gods why, screaming for anyone to hear him, but nobody could. After they branded him, they threw holy water on him, anointed him in oils. They prayed and said to their God, cleanse this unpure soul, for he has been birthed dirty, been birthed corrupted. He who let hair shall be at rest at once. 8 of them. All you could hear was chopping. You're at a butcher shop. The hunters did find things to consume. The remains is what was found in the river nearby. Oh, I mean the lake. No, the river. A river that was 40 miles away from where this all took place. 6 months later, after the town that was thriving was burned to an ash, and all that was left was overgrown vegetation and the souls that have been unrest. They finally heard him, finally heard them. The ancestors and the gods, specifically a goddess of rage, dark feminine, half of what is life and death, heard him. This town, he asked Jackson, would you fix the cycles that are clearly broken? Would you mend what needed to be mended with force? Would you do what needed to be done to secure peace, justice? His grieving, agonizing soul with his dismemberment body said yes. You know, in my universe, once they make a deal, chaos comes. So it did. And August came back around, the anniversary of the massacre, at 11:59. Then 12 o'clock, heroes. There's an arm, a torso. It was missing pieces, of course. He went back to the place where it started it all. Went into the lake. The moon was full. The ancestors were waiting for him. He was sewn back together, this time with added pieces. Magical, supernatural twists. Scars was his power. His body was never the same. But his soul was there, was alive, haunted by his wife and his children's screams. First thing he did was search for them. Where were they, you may ask? In a museum. And that museum was originally on the grounds of where his ancestors first came, the Maxwell Plantation. You may ask, why is a museum on a plantation? Well, it was showing historical art, of course. Now, why is his wife, why is his children on the plantation, you may ask? Well, they kind of are, kind of aren't. As night shift came in, saying slurs, laughing at the art, calling it ghetto, etc. You get what I'm saying. Grab one, whispered in their ear. I'm the harvest, and you will reap what you sow. Your judgment has been finalized, and I am the penalty. And with that, let's just say the guy was not alive after that. He took the rest of them out. And when he was finally able to hone in to what happened to his children, all 3 of them, and his wife, their scents, their smells, everything about them felt as though it was in front of him, but all he saw was a kitchen table, nightstand, some type of chair, a couple of pillows with some odd texture. He looked closer, felt the energy from one of the whispering voices and souls within him. He could hear them. It was his children and his wife. His daughter, the chair, oldest son, nightstand, his youngest son, the table, his beautiful wife, the pillows. There wasn't rage anymore. There was only justice. After he freed their souls by removing their remains from this world, even though he can never be with them ever again due to the deal that he made, he took his pain, his vengeance out on the surrounding town. At night, Whitesville population decreased by 15%. He just wanders the south, taking vengeance out on anyone who continues the cycle. Doesn't matter what skin color you are. He's not trying to save the world. He's just breaking cycles. Avoid his principles and you should be fine. Watch them. Well, you'll be harvest. You reaped what you sow, and he is the harvest. And that was Crucifix. Now, I had to cut down his story, but there is more information that will probably be out when his book or comic gets actually released. With that being said, I hope you liked it. I had fun writing it, and I genuinely just love creating characters like this, and I will be creating more. So with that being said, bye!